was always the bottleneck in the company. So when Voice AI came out, I went all in. And I'm happy to play this call. It's 5 minutes. Hopefully we can hear it. It's an amazing call.
Are you an AI?
You bet I am. I'm Grace Silver, your friendly AI sales assistant.
So, picking a unique area that's underserved. There's hundreds and hundreds of these right now, all over the place. It doesn't have to be some crazy massive build out like we started with in the beginning to make money. Just solve one problem. Focus on the 20% that's going to move the needle 80%.
Hey guys, welcome everyone. So in this episode, we're going to be talking to Chase, who has already showed his solution on our channel before on our biggest video about agents as a service model. And honestly, his solution was so impressive that there were a lot more questions in the comments. Like, for example, which tech stack did he use? What is his onboarding processes like? What lead generation strategies he used, and how exactly he scaled this solution to 50K a month without any funding. So in this episode, we're going to answer all of these questions. We're literally going to take you from the very start, from when Chase initially came up with this idea to exactly where he is right now. And of course, in the middle, we're going to do a more detailed, a full comprehensive demo with everything behind the scenes and exactly what the clients see when they subscribe to Chase's solution. So welcome, Chase, and let's kick this off with a brief overview of what exactly does your vertical AI agent solution do.
Yeah, so what we basically figured out how to do was automate pretty much the entire sales process, right? So the second a lead comes into the company's bubble, until the second they decide, I don't want to do business with that company or provider, we automate everything in between. Speed to lead, follow-up, lead nurture, database reactivation, cross-sell, upsell, downsell, no call, no show, the whole 9 yards. Full CRM, full AI voice, full AI texting, full pipelines, full sequences. You can dream it, we can build it, all in one place. That's pretty much what we do.
And how did you initially find an idea for this type of a solution?
That's a good question. I was in the solar space prior to this, and I helped about 600 people go solar virtually from home. So I had a team of people on the phones, like lots of other people probably watching, pounding the pavement. I was already a CRM pro. It took me a long time to figure that out, but it was out of necessity. I wasn't really a tech guy. Now most people think I'm the tech guy, not the sales guy anymore. But it's because, 2 years of AI, but with my experience that I had already had running the CRM, everybody and their mother tried to copy what we were doing in solar because we already had all the pipelines and sequences, the no call, no show. My motto was simple, right? Every lead needs a home all the time. We always need to know where they are in the process, whether we're going to blast them out or not. We needed a place to live. The scalability part was on the voice side. Humans can only call so much. That was always the block. That's always what prevented me from going from 2 or 3 sales guys to 10, 15, 20 sales guys. And the risk to reward was just never there. If I brought on too many phone people and the closers didn't close, the phone people quit and vice versa. And the only person that would ever be sacrificing or hurting was me, because I was always killing it. I was always the bottleneck in the company. So when Voice AI came out, I went all in. And at that time, we were the only person that combined everything. So it happened by happenstance, right? But because in my mind, I'm like, we're already using this. I'm already a CRM pro. It doesn't make sense not to attach it here. And so we just ran with that. And now we've really perfected a lot of these processes. So
got it. So you previously already had a ton of experience in sales. You knew exactly how sales processes work at different companies, and you knew what problems sales teams typically encounter. So that's what really allowed you to understand which solution to build.
no doubt about it. Before that, I owned a door-to-door sales company. If you've ever seen the Omaha steaks, the frozen steaks, I had 16 trucks and 32 guys in Denver and 10 trucks in Colorado Springs and slaughtered 27 offices for almost 12 straight years. So I'm very in tune with the sales process. So with the sales process being so in tune, the CEO get shit done mentality, not wait for anybody else. Then you match that with CRM, and then you match that with the voice, and you put all that together. It's put us in quite a unique situation to have a real understanding of what the business owner needs, wants, and feels, And so I speak their language. So it's, sales tech built by salespeople. So I think that's why it works.
So take me back to that moment, I suppose like around 2 years ago, when you realized that voice AI was a solution to all of these problems. How did you build this initial MVP?
So initially the MVP, I went with Air AI. I dropped 75 grand. It was the scariest investment I've ever done. It was exciting and ended up being terrible. And we ended up almost losing all of that money. But I met a bunch of really cool people, joined a mastermind group of other voice agencies. We were like the first 15 agencies worldwide to launch voice AI. They were all doing it differently. And that's when I started realizing how unique we were. I was the only one doing the full CRM, like from the very beginning. So I started to find other providers, and I nestled up with all the original owners of the first 4 or 5 providers that came out. And then we started building our own solution. We did leverage someone else's solution for a while. And now at this point, honestly, I'm voice AI agnostic. We have 2 of our own platforms. We have 2 other platforms that are not ours that we use because we don't just have one solution. One solution is we do everything for a business. The next one is we build it and we release it. And when you're doing everything for them, not every provider has the same quality. Not every provider can do the same functionality. One company does something better than the other one. So I found it necessary to use multiple ones, which is why we built out our own. And we're working on an enterprise solution right now for massive outbound outreach.
I see. So initially, you simply used a platform, like a third-party platform, and you build out a solution on top of that. But then as you were scaling, you started to build your own infrastructure. Is that how you've done it?
That's exactly how we did it. And we focused in the very beginning on still being different because the voice AI, when we started, it was one piece, only one piece. No, everyone else was offering just voice agents, just a sales agent, just a real estate agent, which might be easier, but I realized they need the CRM. I mean, they just need it. You know what I mean?
I see. So then you basically just took that CRM and you added it in this third-party platform that you paid for, right?
I integrated the 2 together. I framed them in, so it looks like it's all the same platform. And we built some really deep automations in the background on the CRM that can do a whole bunch of things. So I have one AI that makes a call, another AI that listens to the recording, dictates what happens, adds that to the contact card, and then that triggers another event. So if it was a not interested, it'll remove them from the pipeline, put them on the DNC list, and put them in the not interested category. Same thing with anything else. Send a link, I'm interested, not interested, whatever the case may be. So that's what makes an AI employee, which is essentially what we sell. It's the combination of them being able to do what they need to do to get their job done. If somebody texts in and says, can you send me an email? Can your agent do that? Mine can. If they text in and say, can someone please call me right now? Can your agent do that? I mean, mine can, right from the CRM, right? So we built all these crazy functionalities into it. It's been a bloody battle for 2 years. And now we are making just the best agents that we've ever made. It's super fun. It's super awesome. There's lots of businesses that need it. So anybody out there that wants to build one, it's in big demand right now.
I see. This is the approach that I would also recommend, is starting out from like a specific platform and then adding those missing capabilities into that platform. I think right now there's a huge opportunity in just combining multiple systems together, like basically connecting to all of the same systems that businesses use daily. And this makes your agent provide instantly like 10x more value, because who needs a voice agent like if it can't update a CRM? Like, would you need a sales rep if it can't even use a CRM, right?
Absolutely. 100%. I like that. If you could your sales rep do it? I mean, yeah, would you have a sales rep that couldn't update the CRM? Would it make a lot of sense, Which I'm sure a lot of people out there watching are thinking like, I do have salesmen that don't update the CRM,
Exactly.
I know this because I've ran the CRM forever, and sometimes it's like pulling teeth. As a CEO, you just want to be able to go in there and see what happened. You need visibility.
Yeah, exactly. So once you got this MVP working, what strategies did you use for lead generation and how did you find your first client?
I manifested my first clients. I turned a cold caller who called me to sell me some leads, and I teased him a little bit and told him what he was selling sucks. And he's like, "Whoa, man!" I was like, "I'm just kidding, man." I was like, "But you want to hear something that doesn't suck?" And I did a 3-way to my AI agent, and he lost his mind. And inside of an hour, he had me on the phone with 3 people that he was selling leads to, which at the time was perfect for what we were doing. And ended up getting my first 3 or 4 sales off of that dude. And that's how I started. Then I built some other partnerships, and then they started sending over some people, and I had some of my own referrals. So in the beginning, man, I just kind of pushed it out there. Honestly, I never needed to do lead gen. It just kind of always came.
Okay, which lead gen strategies are you finding the most effective today?
Honestly, ads. Really weird to say, but ads. And only because our popularity is awesome, but it does provide chaos when the inbound leads are coming in. If you don't know where they're coming from, this is LinkedIn, Facebook, this guy saw a podcast, this guy saw a YouTube, this guy just went to your website. I mean, there's so many partnerships and this and that. You end up wasting a lot of time on calls about people wanting to, resell your software and stuff. But when you run ads, it's very targeted, right? So you get the type of people that you want to. I really recommend anybody out there because, obviously a lot of people are here to make money. So, I mean, like really makes you like kind of niche down a little bit, which is tough in the AI space because AI can do a lot of things. But like we focused a lot on the loan space. I love the loan space, right? I love people that are running ads. A speed to lead is an easy thing for our system to do, and it does really well. And it makes them a lot of money. So, picking a unique area that's underserved. There's hundreds and hundreds of these right now, all over the place. No one area industry is just getting bombarded by AI. They're all just peppered in, and there are some industries that are barely getting started, and other industries haven't even started yet. So pick a small space, find a small solution that works, and start there. It doesn't have to be some crazy massive build out like we started with in the beginning to make money. Just solve one problem.
So it wasn't like the marketing channel that was the most effective. It was rather just niching down on like a specific type of customer that proved to be the most effective, right?
Essentially, yes, absolutely. And now we're restructuring all of our marketing to try and funnel them into at least in the same problem niche. They need something in the sales process that's in our wheelhouse. Like we can build all types of things like you, but I don't want to do that. We want to focus on what we're good at. And we're really good at helping people make money in their broken sales process. So yeah, the niching down, I would say, is definitely been the thing that everybody said in the beginning, but we just couldn't do it. And hindsight's 2020, but yeah, we should have probably niched down. It would have been a lot easier.
Yeah, I think for beginners, honestly, it's not necessary to niche down. I think it can make it harder for you to get some really valuable experience and feedback at those initial stages because like you really need to find like what it is that you excel at before you can niche down. And for that, you have to like kind of mess around and try different things and like fail a few times.
It is true, 100%.
Yeah, but I'm honestly surprised that you said that ads worked exceptionally well for you, even though you're making content. Because for us, content has been definitely the biggest game changer. Like, honestly, I started my YouTube channel almost a year ago, a bit more now. And I thought that I would get my first client even maybe like a month ago. Like when I started my YouTube channel, I thought that would have taken me like a year to get my first client, but actually first client came to me from YouTube when I had only like 200 subscribers on like my second or third video. So I also think there's like a huge opportunity there in organic content, but it is true that, we get kind of like customers all over the place. Like we have basically all industries coming to us and asking us to build like all sorts of solutions.
Yeah, that's tough. Like your podcast, right? Like I'd love to move over to YouTube, and we do have a YouTube channel. We do get some business from there for sure. But it just wasn't something that we grew because the inbound was bigger than I anticipated in the beginning, or else I would have probably started with there. Because I will say outside of the ads, which is also new for us, because again, everything's been inbound for almost a year, but your podcast generated really high quality traffic. And thank you everybody who came. They clicked the link, they watched the videos, they were prepared for our meeting. I mean, our own people coming from all over, they're never prepared. And it's tough, right? Because our product is complex. It offers a lot. So it's like, I feel like, the YouTube definitely, they're more interested, but they are coming from everywhere, worldwide. Some areas and that we don't even cover, and other areas where it's really strict. And, it does have a lot of conversation. So that's okay. You just keep fixing, right? So now we have a new sales team. We have like 4 people on our sales team. We only have 1. Now we have 4 or 5 technically. And so now we're just cleaning up that process. So
I also think just combining those two is also like a really large opportunity because you can significantly boost your paid ads by your own organic content. Like you just need to either like add it on your website or use it in your marketing collateral. And you can also do the reverse where you can target people who watch your organic content on YouTube. This is probably what we're going to do next, by the way.
Yep, absolutely. 100%. That's a great idea. And that would work really well. A combination of the two, I think, would be the best source of traffic on the planet.
Okay, so you got your MVP, you got your lead generation nailed down. How did you scale this solution from there?
That part is tricky. That part is tricky. Our team just kept expanding. We just had to keep expanding the team. Like any entrepreneur, we threw a bunch of shit on the wall and seeing what sticks. And we just kept reiterating over and over until we found something. Like you said, we've got the lead generation process dialed in. Now we're dialing in the sales process. So as soon as that's dialed in, we should be good to go.
So basically just onboarding more people to help you with those lower value tasks to free up some of your time, and then just documenting the processes.
Of course, we document everything. Everything's done in an SOP for someone to follow, just making sure systems are in place where they're not. Sometimes they're not there, and that's okay. You just reiterate those and push those in for the week. And then next week, boom, and now you got ClickUp or whatever you're using, and you just keep moving. So as long as we get 1% better every day, we're doing well. So we're just constantly trying to improve customer experience and client fulfillment.
Were there any big shifts in your strategy? Like, for example, any new pricing models that you experimented with and that proved to be exceptionally effective?
I'd say we're still working on that one. That's tough. We've reiterated several times. We've tried doing 6 months all paid up front. We had several people jump on that. We've done decent with each one. So it's really hard to tell, but we were doing a 20,000 paid in full for 6 months and that worked well for a minute. And then we switched over to our probably current model that we have now, which is 5,000 to build, 1,500 a month, 10,000 to build, 2,000 a month. But we are introducing a lower tier that I think is going to work out. The market seems to be in demand for wanting to test something. Problem with what we build, it really can't be tested appropriately until it's built.
So what's the difference between your higher tier and a lower tier?
A bigger build out, really. So our 650 offer is going to be 650 a month, and it's just going to be one agent. It's really just like a tester, just for them to get in, get a basic CRM, get the workflows that they need, get the agents built in, calling and texting, and then do one thing: speed delete, cold call, whatever it is that is, and then upgrade to the next packages. Our bigger packages have more employees. More employees equals more automations, bigger workflow. Our bigger package, it's no joke. It takes 3 weeks to do. It's 50 workflows and it's 5 AI employees. And each one has a different prompt, a different voice, a different structure. We have to train and test all of them. It's a really large build. So
interesting. Yeah, I'm asking because we actually just released our own starter package as well. There seems to be some demand for this in the market. And yeah, we're basically taking the same approach. We're just kind of stripping it down to its core. Just basically no project management, no dedicated project managers, but still same level of quality, same services, just basically a bit more self-served and a bit more automated.
It's really funny that you said that because I was literally talking to our new VP of sales and we were talking about the same thing, right? Because on our $2,000 a month package, it comes with 5,000 minutes. That's $1,000 retail, right? So I could easily take minutes off, take some of the support off, and have that more a la carte. If you want that, you can upgrade, but at least they know this is the core and this is for the support, and your minutes are separate. If you think you're going to use a bunch of minutes, it's better to get them in bulk, right? But if you're not really using that much, maybe they don't even need those. They just pay as you go and it's cheaper, right? So I never really thought about that approach, but I think you hit the nail on the head. I think we're trying to evaluate because I don't care if they get minutes or they don't. I just figured everybody would want minutes, right? The other package that we're doing that's working really well is straight up done for you. You know what I mean? The opposite of the starter package. It's 7,500 down, a minimum 7,500 to 10 grand per month. And we become a full blown extension of their sales team. This seems to be in more demand than anything else. Again, targeting is very important. And it's a math-based equation. We're solving a problem that makes them money.
Have you experimented with any result-based approaches to pricing?
Yeah, that's what these are, except there's a big monthly attached, right? So it's 7 to 10,000 a month, plus we get 10 to 20% revenue splits. Commission depends on how you want to target it. And it's performance based on both sides because our team has to be paid. Think about it like this. If I'm going to charge these guys 7,000 and we're going to do speed to lead, cold call, database reactivation, what if their product is terrible? What if their reviews are terrible? What if their leads are terrible? I can't not get paid when we did the work because their leads aren't very good. So there has to be a base there, but it's a 12-month growth plan. But in 90 days, if we're not making more than our monthly, we will let them go because we only want to do things for people when the upside's there. So they got to perform and we have to perform. So it really is a beautiful symbiotic relationship. If either party's not performing, it doesn't work. They're not going to keep paying 7 to 10 grand a month if it doesn't make them more than that. And I'm not going to do that if we don't make more than that, because we're there for 6 figures a month. We want to have big impacts, big results, and solve real problems, right?
Yeah, I also think that there's some risk involved in those performance-based pricing models, but at the same time, there is also way more potential as well. So I do think that it's a huge opportunity, but you need to consider it carefully when it comes to result-based pricing in AI agents.
As long as they're vetting out who they're doing business with, because
Yeah.
you could produce and still not get paid. So you have to be really, really careful.
Yeah, but overall, this gets me like really excited that you can charge for AI agents like you would charge for any other services provided by real agencies.
Exactly. I mean, my favorite customer would be someone who's spending 10,000 a month in ads or more and hurting on the follow-up side, the follow-up, the database reactivation, the cross-sell, upsell, downsell. There's a huge demand for this. And our system is a smoking gun when it comes to that. So we're probably going to gear up our marketing efforts more towards this. I've got a partnership we just made with somebody, and he only focuses on people that spend at least 50 to 100 grand a month in ads. And they're going to start sending us people like that, because again, our systems do well with that. So it's a smaller build and it just has a better success rate.
All right. So now I think it's a good time for us to do a more comprehensive demo of your solution. As I said, a lot of people are curious to really see what it looks like behind the scenes. So can you take us through like what the client actually sees when they subscribe to your AI solution?
All right. So I'll just kind of give you a brief rundown, like as if you were like a new client, right? So first we have our inbox section here. It's taking a second for some of these to load, but this comes through. So you can see this here and you can see this in the CRM, right? So like this is this guy's appointments. This is the AI writing. This is the customer writing. What's kind of cool when we're pulling from this is it's pulling everything inside the CRM, right? So every single thing that's happened or transacted with that client, name, email, phone number, address, this, that, and the other, everything's all right inside one place. Call center looks kind of like this. So we're monitoring different calls going out. All their call lists are going to live here, and they're going to be inside the CRM in multiple places. So they can click over here. They can listen to the calls. They can see all types of things. They can send it wherever they want to. When it comes to making the assistants, this is probably the funnest part, right? So let's go in and check out one of our assistants. So you recognize this looks like a GPT prompt. We're using GPT 4.0. Actually, you can use Claude. You can use a bunch. But this is a simple prompt that's a task-based prompt. Really easy to test our agents. They can just click right here. Okay, then let's go over here back into our builder. So now we understand we have a basic agent. We've got voices. We've got all types of cool things. We can test the agent. Great. It sounds great. Now what? Well, it needs to be able to book on your calendar, right? So we sync all the calendars up from our CRM. Then we need to be able to change our settings around. So I can pick the language model. This is probably the coolest thing here is inside here, we've given the agent abilities, right? So it can update users in the CRM. It can search the web. It can book appointments, get availability. It can use calendar events. It can update appointments, schedule things, send emails. It can extract things right from the call. It can transfer to other AI agents, or it can transfer over to a human agent. Really simple. I just put my unique name here. I put my description, where I want it transferred, if I want it warm or not, and save changes. And it's really that simple. Then I'm going to call that tool on the call.
So this is what the agent used last time to transfer me to like another sales agent, right?
Yep.
All right. That's really cool. So how many tools in total do you add per agent?
I add all of these tools, so probably 10 or 15. We don't always have a transfer. It depends on which one they need. And then the custom feature allows us to do custom things. This one I'm pulling back in from the CRM, but I can actually touch N8N. So if you got a custom N8N that does all the invoicing and this and that and does project quotes. So let's just say it was like an auto dealer or like a detail shop, right? Cleaning cars, and someone called in. It could have like the 10 price points. The agent could ask that and say, hold on one second. It shoots over API to N8N, which is already working out that quote, sends it right back to the agent. The agent says, cool. If you want to do that, we can do this at 1 o'clock today, and it's going to cost $150. Does that sound good? Great, cool. And then turn around and shoot out the payment link, right?
Yeah, so it's like your own custom tools that you can add from like third-party
Absolutely.
platforms.
You can just create a tool down here. We can add extractions, custom tools. You can add custom tags, remove tags, all types of custom things. So this makes the agent really, really powerful, right? So I know we don't have like a ton of time. So to kind of, cram that all into a ball, we got a voice agent. We're able to talk to that voice agent, which is amazing. It's very easy now to test, easier now than it ever has been before. I can just click and it's syncing up to my CRM automatically with the calendars. I just pick a few tools that I need. The call settings allows us to send webhooks wherever we want to, change the background setting, change all types of things. Knowledge base is only needed if the company's big and you have a lot of things. But if it's one follow-up agent, that agent doesn't really need a knowledge base. It just creates opportunities for latency issues. So add the knowledge base into your prompt is best, unless it's really, really big and it's like a car dealership where there's 1,000 cars. That's different, right? Then we need to attach that to a Google Sheet. So essentially, now we know what we can do. We can do all this right inside of one place, and to tie this in to make it really cool, we have these things called active tags. As long as the active tag is added to the agents in the CRM, agent's activated. That simple.
All right, that's really impressive. Honestly, your platform is just way more built out than I thought it would be.
Let me tie all of this in. So now we know what the background looks like. I'll spend like 3 minutes here. This is the CRM. They're getting all this. When we build it, we build everything all in one, and they're not going to be clicking this as a separate platform. They're going to click that from down here, and it just populates right here in the iframe, right?
And is this all also custom built out by you?
Yeah, I combined a bunch of things, and it's getting less and less. But there are things in the background that we built that aren't standard to GHL, like number rotators, the parser that's listening to all the conversation, figuring out what's happening in all the calls. That's all built out custom in the background. There's big workflows built in to kind of make all that work. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. Got it now. All right.
So let me wrap it all up with this one client, if that's okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
So this guy was an ad. He came in from an ad. So anybody looking at this process, whether you're trying to sell it or trying to put it in your business, it doesn't really matter. This is the same. If it was a cold call, a database reactivation, a follow-up, a warm call, they're all similar sequences. Call, text, email, wait. Call, text, email, wait. Did they respond? Respond back. And then do the thing, right? So it doesn't really matter. So although I'm going to show you speed to lead, use your imagination out there on, I don't need to show you every single process that we have for you to understand, or the audience to understand how powerful this is. Let your imagination run wild. This is structured because it's from an ad, right? Guy came in at 546. He was essentially moved over into a pipeline stage, easy enough, into conversation waiting. He gets a very provocative text message. He gets a very provocative email. I'm talking instant follow-ups on new leads, calls, text, emails, DMs, all covered, 10,000 calls a day, no sweat. Then he gets moved over into our 7-day speed to lead nurture sequence. Again, call, text, wait, email, call, text, wait. He booked an appointment. How did this happen? All within like 5 minutes of him coming in, because he was on the phone with the agent at the same time as he was getting texted and emailed and organized in the CRM. You just think about that. No human was involved there. All done by AI. Add to AI to human, right? It's crazy. And I'm happy to play this call. It's 5 minutes. Hopefully we can hear it. It's an amazing call. Very structured. The guy gives some complicated answer that I was like falling asleep when he was giving the answer, because I'm like, he said so many things about his sales process. I was like, just get to the point. And then the agent remembers every single thing that the guy says, books the appointment, does the whole thing. The way she set the call up, it's perfect. We're going to go over this, this, and this. And if that works out, I'll transfer it to the CEO. How's that sound? Sounds good.
Yeah,
I mean, it's perfect because we wrote this. And then afterwards, what happens? Well, he got moved over into the appointment booked column. Oh, what happened? Well, his appointment popped up right on the calendar. What happened after that? Oh, he's getting appointment reminders. What happened after that? Oh, my AI made this up. This is not a sequence. This particular part is called context injection. I'm telling my agent 24 hours before, get a yes, and make sure they got this document so they can see what we do. He says yes, AI writes back. He writes, AI keeps writing him all the way down to our meeting. You know what I mean? So all done with AI. It's still trippy. It just trips me out. I have a million conversations like this that were just sensational with the system. And it's still, so when you say ads, asked me earlier, I'm like, well, I like the ads because my AI is just it's gonna help us out and do the thing. Now we have to keep perfecting it and stuff like that. But dude, it's flabbergasting because again, the follow-up, same thing. I'm just putting them in a sequence and then you watch the same thing happen. Database reactivation, cold call, warm call. Again, it doesn't matter. Put the leads in, click a button, sequence starts, calls, texts, emails go out.
That's insane. And this is for your own business, right? So you're
We
also
use
using your own.
I use my tools in my own business every single day in all capacity.
That's crazy. Can we listen to the call now?
Yes. All right. So we're going to play this call. Don't hate on me. There's one little spot where she messed up. So everything else is perfect. And just a little heads up, this guy doesn't know it's AI, even though he's told twice until all the way till right here. So let's check out and see what happened.
This is Grace Silver, one of the superstar AI employees at Infinite AI. I noticed you filled out one of our Facebook forums about AI employees. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, I did.
Great. What got you interested in an AI employee? Are you looking to save time, boost sales, or maybe just have a tireless assistant who never takes coffee breaks?
I like all three.
Dude, it's so fast.
This person messed up, but
A person
she recovered.
who knows what they want. I love it. So, Tevin, the goal of this call is simple. I'll learn a bit about your business, see how an AI employee could help, answer any questions, and if it makes sense, set you up with a demo appointment with our CEO. How does that sound?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Awesome. To get started, can you tell me a little about your sales process? Like, where do most of your leads come from, and what's your team's usual follow-up strategy?
You hear that voice inflection there?
Sales process is, we
See, as a sales guy, bro, this is where I'll be like, what'd you just say?
You're right.
Got it, Tevin. Sounds like you got a pretty structured process in place, and I love that you're leveraging multiple channels like Instagram, email, and SMS. It's clear you're serious about qualifying leads and guiding them to the right service, whether it's funding or credit restoration. What would you say is your biggest challenge right now? Is it keeping up with follow-ups, converting disqualified leads, or something else?
I would say follow-ups and disqualified leads, so we can make our monthly recurring revenue a lot higher based upon credit repair, and $60 a month per client.
Follow-ups and turning those disqualified leads into revenue classic pain points, but totally fixable. Here's the deal. For follow-ups, Jackson Banks, our AI follow-up specialist, is a rock star. He can automatically call, text, and email your leads, ensuring no one slips through the cracks. It's like having a follow-up machine that never sleeps. For disqualified leads, Ava Gold is your go-to.
He's in the car. That's why it's so loud.
Activating dormant or dead leads, turning them into opportunities. Imagine her working her magic on those credit consultation forms, nurturing those leads into paying $60/month clients. How does that sound so far?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Fantastic. The best part is we customize everything to fit your exact process, no cookie cutter solutions here. Let's get you set up with a demo with our CEO so you can see how this all works in action. Let me pull up some available times for you. One sec. All right, Tevin, here are a couple of options for the demo. Tuesday, February 25th.
Well, it just pulled up the time, right? So it just pulled up the time. So it was like in a second.
1 second.
That's crazy. And this guy still has
Nope.
and this guy still has no idea it's an AI, right?
Nope. Even though he was told twice, she said, I'm Grace Silver, a superstar AI employee.
Time. Wednesday,
Okay.
February 26th at 8 a.m. or 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Which one works best for you? Or if you need a different day, let me know.
You said Wednesday?
Oops, my bad. I meant Tuesday, February 25th at either 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. Mountain Time. Does one of those work for you?
Wednesday actually does work. Actually,
Perfect.
no, sorry. Yeah, Wednesday, yes. Wednesday.
Got it. I'll book you for Tuesday, February 25th at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. You're all set
No.
for Tuesday, February.
No, not Tuesday, Wednesday.
Got it. Let's switch to Wednesday, February 26th. Would 8 a.m. or 11 a.m. Mountain Time work better for you?
I don't know if people understand what just happened there. She switched the calendar. Like,
Oh wow. I see. So it first booked like on Tuesday, which was incorrect, and then she moved the appointment using another tool to another day, right?
that's correct.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
There's
Very
so
well
many
done.
little things that people can't possibly understand that are happening, in the call. So I'm glad we're pointing them out because it is quite impressive. You know what I mean?
Mountain
Yeah.
time is I'm on Eastern. What is that for you guys?
Listen to this.
Good question. Mountain time is 2 hours behind Eastern. So if it's 8 a.m. Mountain time, that's 10 a.m. for
She knows. That's crazy,
She
right?
just whispered.
Yeah,
you.
whispered.
And 11 a.m. Mountain time would be 1 p.m. Eastern. Which one works better?
Let's do 8 a.m. Mountain time.
Got it. I'll reschedule your appointment to Wednesday, February 26th at 8 a.m. Mountain Time, 10 a.m. Eastern. You're all set for Wednesday, February 26th at 8 a.m. Mountain Time, 10 a.m. Eastern. I'll send you a reminder beforehand. Let me know if you need anything else.
Yeah. Are you an AI?
You bet I am. I'm Grace Silver, your friendly AI sales
probably am.
assistant. I'm here to make your life easier, help you grow your business, and maybe even crack a joke or two along the way. What's on your mind?
No, that's amazing. You did an amazing job. Thank you.
Oh, Tevin, you just made my day. Thank you for being awesome. I'm excited for your demo. You're going to love what Infinite AI can do for your business. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you soon.
Oh my
Bye-bye.
God.
Listen, I've heard that call about 100,000 times, and I got 100 more just like it, but it still just tickles me to death, bro. I've been doing this for 2 years. Just the fact that, still the fact that this is possible. I hope everybody understands what just happened there, right? Full AI did everything, did the qualifying, did my discovery call. When I met with the guy, he just laid down and fell over like, yeah, I already know exactly what you do. Your girl told me all about it. I'm like, she's like, I just want that. I'm like, well, let's go. So,
It's crazy. I was also really impressed how closely it follows the script. Like it feels like it just goes through like a script perfectly.
it's pretty crazy.
Okay, Chase. So thank you so much for showing this demo. Honestly, like as I said, your solution is just unmatched. Like the quality of your voices is insane. How fast they respond is also crazy. So really well done with the setup on the tools. Like this is what I always tell our communities, that you need to make sure that the agent can be adaptable to feedback. So you need to make sure that the agent, can correct its own mistakes and can adapt to circumstances during the call. So definitely great job there on agent development. But what I really must ask you after hearing something like this is this even legal?
That's a funny question. Yes, of course, it is legal. I laugh because a lot of people have that misconception. So listen, you have regulations all over the planet, right? Nobody's straight up banned AI voice yet. That has not happened. In the US, people freaked out about 8 months ago when a law came out. It really just said you can do with AI voice what you can do with human voice. If you have opt-in data, you have permission, you are allowed to call them. You're not supposed to cold call. You weren't supposed to cold call before. And the law was just making everybody understand that AI voice is not a way around cold calling. Other than that, it is 100% legal. Some areas make you state that it is AI. We have done that from the beginning because it doesn't matter. They don't care. It's not a negative to say you're talking to AI. They don't even know what that means. When the voice is so real, it doesn't register in their brain. So that's the only thing about legality. So yeah, it's totally 100% legal.
Got it. As long as you state it's an AI, right? Okay. Okay, that's not bad. I hope it doesn't change in the future. Honestly, I feel like it might. But yeah, honestly, like, dude, just insane what you've been able to achieve, because I've also scheduled demos with companies like 11x. And also, like, one of the final topics I wanted to get your opinion on is like how recently 11x actually was sort of exposed. Like they made a lot of noise. They raised like over 75 million in funding. They showed like crazy numbers on their ARR. But in fact, it turned out that most of these numbers were based on annual contracts that had clauses in them which allowed their clients to cancel them in the first 3 months. And it seems like almost all their clients canceled simply because they couldn't deliver what they promised. And they even had like logos of Airtable and Zoom Info on their website, which eventually were removed simply because these clients never really adopted the solution. So what are your thoughts on this, and like how are you planning to compete with these like super funded startups?
Yeah, that's a good question. I never looked at 11x as competition. They only offer like 1/10 of what we do. I don't know how they were able to get that much money and offer such small amount of what I believe was services. So, we just stay ahead of the curve as much as we can. We don't stop with R&D. We don't stop trying to make things better. We were around the year before they were even around perfecting this. We have more experience and we focus more on client results. I mean, that's what we do. If we can't make someone money, I'd rather them just keep their money. But they're just one part of the process, and that's not a solution. Just doing cold email or just doing a BDR or whatever. I mean, that's not really the solution. That's why we started with an end-to-end. If the AI voice doesn't work, the database reactivation, the follow-up, the nurture, something's getting these guys, or it's the holiday sequence. We have all these things moving around to make everything work. I mean, to rise is to fall, but to stay consistent is to stay on top. So we just try to stay consistent.
In my opinion, the biggest difference between you and platforms like 11x is that you are really going from a problem to a solution. So like what I really love about you and like just in general about bootstrapped startups is that you have to solve problems in order to survive. Like you are literally like solving your own problem that you've encountered for, I don't know how long now, maybe like a decade. So like your customer in and out because like your customer is literally like yourself like a few years ago, right? So you're building something like from the ground up. And the problem with these San Francisco startups is that they're primarily like most of them are just shooting in the dark. Like some of them succeed, but many of them fail because they just assume like the problem exists and that it must be solved in this way. But actually from our experience, like what happens in production is that clients provide you with feedback that you could not have foreseen yourself.
100%. We know all these problems beforehand. So we've definitely overcome them. We've had them overcame this almost this whole time. So that is what has made us different from most providers out there. And it's still what makes us different than other providers is we are end to end. And that is why when someone's like, can I get a trial? I'm like, how do I give you a trial on the end to end? I mean, I can give you access to the voice maybe, but you pick the wrong voice and you don't like it, then that means it doesn't work. No, it doesn't work like that. This is not a matter of if it works. And it's not a get rich quick scheme, right? It's not a Harry Potter magic wand. It's how much time and energy and love did you put into your sales team? If you're that person that says, dude, I put everything into them. Cool. If you put that into the AI team, you're going to kill it. It doesn't matter where it starts. If you don't like how she sounds or what she says in a text or email or change it. Reiterate again over and over and over and over. At some point, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of you gave up or you got it to work. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? I mean, the AIs already sound amazing right out of the box. But if you're going to love on it, listen to those calls, watch the transcripts, watch the text messages going through and continuously reiterate and optimize these things. Dude, 6 months later, you look back and it's like game over.
Yeah, exactly. I always say that AI agent development is an iterative process. Like you have to work on your solution. There's no chance that you're going to get it right from the first attempt. And that's like one of the reasons like you really have to build it from the ground up. You can't just, spend a year somewhere in an office in San Francisco building out the solution without any real feedback, simply because you're not going to be able to guess what the client needs. And the only way you can fine tune your agents is through this real feedback from real clients.
Absolutely.
So what's your strategy for 2025 and how are you planning to scale this further and compete with startups like 11x?
Honestly, I'm not competing with them. Our goal is pretty simple. We're moving over into what we call a growth partner model, which I think we kind of talked about last time. So we basically have two models, and that'll kind of help describe like where we're going. One is build and stay. The other one is build and release. Build and release is I build you the infrastructure, you pay a build out, and you pay a monthly retainer. And then you get it just like a fancy Salesforce or whatever. So with that being said, I have a loan company that we just brought on board, and I'll word it like this and you'll understand my point. So this loan company, they have 14 sales teams, right? 1-4. Their top sales manager made $1.6 million last year and averaged 15% in commission. Now, people don't need to be able to quantify that. He averaged, right? He's getting some were 5%, some were 2%, some were 10, some were 50, because he's closing everybody's deals on his team. And he gets the difference between him and them. But the average was 15%. He made $1.6 million. We signed this company up at $10,000 down, $7,500 a month. We are fixing the process with one team. And inside of 3 months, we'll be managing all 14, and we're getting 15% commission.
I
Soon
see.
to be on almost the whole company. It's how big of a problem, the follow-up, chasing down all that paperwork. You got 5 people to loan, but only one went through. Why? Because the other 3 people you can't get a hold of. And the boss is like, Chase, stop chasing those people. You already know when you get half of them are going to sign up anyway. Just keep them on the new one. Okay, not saying they're wrong, but look at all that cheddar back there in the garbage. There's just not enough time in the day. It's too big of a gamble for them. Not a gamble for me at all. Right. So that's my point, right? This one client should produce massive 6 figures per month in what we're earning. And if we don't produce for them, they're going to let us go. And if I can't get money above and beyond our $7,000, I will let them go. We're not there for that. We're going to actually use all that capital to make it happen. Right. So again, just keep it simple, right? There will be a few clients we will get 6 figures a month on because their volume that they have is there. The garbage is already quantifiable. We just got to plug it in and run it. So that's how I'm going to compete with 11X by not competing with 11X. Our downsell will be filtered by our team. That will be less hands-on from us, but that's how we're going to scale the downsell. And also when we go to sell, it'll be multiple iterations. We'll have the reseller model. We have our build-in release clients, and then we have our growth partner clients. So
I see. So performance-based is the way to go in 2025 is what I hear from you.
That's all I want to be in is a big monthly retainer and performance-based. Absolutely. Because if you think about it from my perspective, have you ever seen that show, The Good Doctor?
I haven't.
So it's an autistic kid and he gets hired into medical and then he's just office sitting there like this. And you wonder what he's thinking, but on TV it shows he's got all these body parts and he's seeing every single thing that could go wrong. It's so clear to him. That's how it is on the sales process for me and my tool stack. Any tool stack really, right? Because it's all the same. There's only 5 or 6 things any sales company can do. And so I love being in that spot on the sales side, getting in, fixing those solutions. It just makes our upside really, really, really big. And it's very rewarding for them and it's rewarding for us. So that is why we're moving into that model for sure.
All right. So thank you, Chase, so much for joining on this podcast. Honestly, the advice you've given so far has been extremely helpful to me. And I believe it's going to be really helpful to anyone who wants to leverage this opportunity. And I highly suggest, like, if you are right now considering building AI agents, definitely consider, like, start from horizontal solutions, don't go into like a super customized solution like Chase is building right now, but do find a way to really nail down on like a specific customer, a specific niche that you know best, and then like focus only on that specific customer. And this is where you're going to uncover these largest opportunities like you did, where you can then charge completely different pricing, where you can be a partner for a business. So you can charge based on results. And this works well, not only for you because you can scale tremendously, but also for the business because they can easily estimate how much they're spending and whether it's worth it to actually use your services.
I like to say, to capitalize on what you just said there, keeping it simple is really imperative, especially if you're new, and make it really even simpler. Focus on the 20% that's going to move the needle 80%. When you get into it in the beginning, you're so excited. You want to do contracts and documents and this and their website and their funnels, everything AI can do. It's too much. It's hard for you, way harder than you think, even if something's automated. It's really hard. Pick the one thing that they're hurting on that's going to put revenue in the company's pocket. If you think revenue first for the company, you will make way more money, period, the end. So remember, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Meaning just because you can sell them 10 things doesn't mean you should. Sell them one, you can charge more for that, do a better job, and then upsell the rest. Hey, it's been 2 months. Notice you're not automating your Facebook. Notice you're not doing this. Notice you're not doing your marketing. Notice you're not doing funnels. Did you know we have all that in our platform? I mean, you could upsell that as you go, but I promise you the biggest advice, if anybody out there is getting started, focus on that one dang thing. Are they having a problem cold calling? Help them with that. They already got 5 people on the phones that just need more. Their no call, no shows are through the roof. Their old leads are sitting there. Sell a database reactivation. They have ads, sell them speed to lead. One thing can make a difference, right?
Yeah. So just incrementally providing value to the customer, like making sure whatever you sell first works and only then adding more things on top. All right. So thank you again, Chase. Last question. Where can we learn more about your work? And if anybody wants to work with you, where should they reach out to?
That's a good question. I would say just going straight to our website. That's myinfinite.ai. I'm sure it'll be in the chat below. There will be a schedule a call right underneath Grace. We're going to revamp this really soon. And so if you just click that, I'm going to build like 3 or 4 calendars on there to let people book where they need to book.
Awesome. So we'll leave all the links below. Thank you again, Chase, for joining. And I wish you to scale even more in 2025 because honestly, I'm personally just so excited about bootstrapped companies like yours, literally beating startups that have 70 or more millions of dollars in funding. Like it shows that literally anybody else can do it too. So the best advice for anyone watching this is, I guess, just get started, right?
It is just get started because listen, entrepreneurship is hard. Doing AI things are hard, but the demand is here. It's a very unique opportunity, just like crypto. It was new. It was early. A lot of people killed it. This is the same thing. Very exciting. So yeah, if you don't start, I mean, you'll never have a chance to ever even remotely have an exit. So, but I want to say I appreciate, man, being on the podcast as well. Thanks for having me on. It's really uplifting for us to know that we have this much value to offer to the world, which is all we want to do is serve clients, serve businesses, serve resellers. And so we sure appreciate it. Thanks to everybody for watching. Arseny, you're one of my favorite people on the planet. I absolutely love what you're building for yourself and even crazier what you're doing now. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you manage that gigantic team and all these people. So, dude, I mean, seriously, kudos and hats off. Super proud of you and super, super happy to be friends, man. This is awesome. So it's a golden age for lots of people.
Likewise, Chase. Thank you so much for joining, and let's see who makes the exit first.
Fair enough. The race is on.